Ryan Collins. I'm here today at the Victoria Golf Club installing a Husqvarna Auto-mower 550. Usually the install takes in between 1 and 2 hours. So right off the bat, you want to set up your charge station, make sure you've got sufficient power, and plug in the Auto-mower so that it starts charging and it's ready to do some testing once it's installed.
Starting from the base station, I have painted an orange line for the perimeter wire, added in an island to go out and around the tree, coming around to the far end of the lawn, designated a loop for where the splice is, and painted a nice green line where we're going to lay the guide wire, which sends the mower back to the charge station. You always want to have at least 7 or 8 feet of straight runway for the mower to get into the charge station. And it's important to make sure your guide line and your perimeter line are different colors on bigger installations so that you know what is what.
Once you have all of your lines painted out, you know where your boundary wire and your guide wire is going to go. You want to take and measure out how much boundary wire you need. So you leave a few extra feet at the charge station for hookup and span the wire around the whole area that you're doing. Where your splice is going to be, you want to leave a bunch of excess wire so that you can tie your guide wire in with the boundary wire. Once you have your boundary wire roughly laid out, it's time to start stapling it down to the ground.
When putting staples in the ground, it's important to make sure that you don't nick or cut the wire. You also want to make sure that the wire is pulled tight so that you are getting the most length out of the wire that you have laid out.
It is now time for the installation of the one and only island that is in this boundary wire. So in order to keep the boundary wire in one piece, you need to take the boundary wire, trench it in, wrap it around the tree, and bring the trench back so that it can continue around the outside. When doing this, it is very important that you don't cross the wires. As I mentioned before, it's very important when you're installing an island that you get these wires as close together as possible without crossing. So you can see I've got them very close together here, but not crossing. Now that we have the boundary wire installed all the way around and the guide wire has been trenched in back to the charging station, you can see we've made a nice splice right here that just has to be capped off and buried. It is now time to finish wiring up the charge station.
When stripping the wire, you want to make sure you have the proper tools, like the one shown in the photo above. It is also important to make sure that you don't nick the actual wire. You want to just cut the casing a little bit and then strip it with the proper tool. In most cases where there is a loop error in installation, it will be during this step because it is very easy to nick the wire while you're trying to strip it. Once the outer casing of the wire has been stripped, you can use one of these handy wire connector clips. This makes a nice clean installation at the charge station.
After placing a clip onto both of the boundary wires and the guide wire, the clips then go onto their designated spots. So you have AR for the right hand side, AL for the left hand side, and I have the ground wire hooked to G1. As you can see, there are 2 more spots for a ground wire in the event that you have more than one ground wire. Once you've hooked up the wires to the back of the charge station, this light on the inside should be green. If this light is blue, you've made an error in installation, and this can be a timely pain in the butt to go back and check all the wires that you installed. Now that the mower is all wired up, has been charged up, and has power, it is time to start the process of installing it on your phone. So first things first, you want to make sure the mower is on, and you click this into the start position, which will put it into Bluetooth pairing mode. The next thing that you want to do is open up your Auto-mower Connect app. So within the app, you're going to click on the plus sign and go to Add Mower. Click on the Auto-mower 550 Pro. Then because this is a 550, we'll click 550. And you will see that it's ready to pair. 550 Clubhouse Lawn. So we click on that. And I am connected. Put in the passcode. It'll take a few minutes here to pair, or a few seconds. And the pairing is complete. I've already named the lawnmower. So now you can see it's sitting in the stopped position. Now I want to go ahead and set the schedule for the mower. Setting the schedule for your Husqvarna Auto-mower 550 is pretty user-friendly. In this case, I need it to mow through the night, so it's going to start mowing on a Monday, for example, and finish mowing on Tuesday morning. So on the top section, we have to set 10 p.m. to midnight on Monday, and on the bottom section, you want to set midnight until roughly 5 a.m., and that will continue on from day to day through the week. This type of scheduling allows you to set up the mower to mow when it is best for you. For instance, if you have kids playing in the backyard, you can schedule your mower not to be out mowing when the kids are going to be in the backyard. It makes it very handy to set the schedule up for your specific needs. Looking a little further at the Husqvarna Auto-mower app, there's a map here. You can see exactly where your Auto-mower is if it ever gets lifted up or stolen, or if you have a bigger property and you need to go out and service it. That's kind of a handy tool. There's different tabs here. You can see there's settings, scheduling, which we went through, cut height, operational, installation, and accessories. You can see your mower statistics. You can also see if you're paired to one or more mowers. You can see what they are doing, which makes that handy if you have more mowers. They have a support tab, and they also have some tips about how to be smarter with your mower account settings, and you can also log out. So that's just a little bit about the app dashboard. All the hard work has paid off. The Auto-mower 550 is on its maiden voyage. Although these mowers make our lives easy, they are not without maintenance. They need to be cleaned regularly, and blade changes need to be performed once every few months. Changing the blades is pretty easy. They just screw in and out of the plate on the bottom of the mower and should be done somewhat regularly. Like I said, once every 2 to 3 months. In addition to that, firmware updates need to be done. You can plug the mower into a laptop and get the up-to-date firmware for your system, and this ensures that they run error-free. One last thing I would like to point out is that a wire trencher can be used on larger installs. With the Clubhouse Lawn, it was small enough that I could just hammer them in by hand, but if you have access to one of these, it sure makes installing more wire a lot easier. That's the end of my video. Thanks for watching.